What a lovely way to start the stream, just coughing in everyone's ear. Oh well, you shouldn't have your volume too high if that's the case. Unlucky. So we are back and ready for some painting. And last night we finished our Stern Guard veterans. So we are moving on to a different model now, which is good fun. So this is where we got to last night. This was one of the last guys to complete. Put the other guys away so they don't get dusty and dirty while I continue painting other elements. Jacob, wow, you're fast, mate. Hello, how are you over on YouTube? So yes, we have finished this guy, which we are happy with now. And we can put him into the done pile. And that means we are on to Blade Guard veterans. Sean, how are you, mate? How you been? Jacob, it's good to hear you are well. I am doing well myself. Thanks, mate. So, I prepped these guys earlier just because I can't really stream and airbrush at the same time, can we? We'll be wearing a mask and not being able to say anything, you know? No good. So, that's what we're doing now. I've got a bunch more to paint still as part of this commission. So just teasing some more. These are some of the inner circle companions by the looks of it that need to be painted up later on. God, I need to cough again. Alrighty. Looks neat. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Alright, so let's get started, and I think we'll do what we did last time. It's probably a good idea to start with the green sort of tabard. So that's what we're going to do. Green tabard, it's kind of hard to reach places, so it means we'll get them out of the way when we can. So to begin, we're going to paint with dark green, Vallejo game color, as our base coat. Pretty much painting it identical to the greens that we did on our previous guys. Thin it down on our wet palette a little bit, then we can start painting away. I'm going to see if I can paint this guy a little bit faster than our other dudes. Just a bit of a challenge for myself. Get too carried away yapping to you guys. Not enough painting, you know? I'm sure that's why you guys watch me, not to just hear me yap. You want to see the painting. And that is what you shall receive. I think sure my computer's not dying on me. Here we go. Yeah. It's as good as it's going to be. Now we're still having issues with this camera. I keep dropping out. Why is that? What is going on here? Hang on, we had issues with this last night, and I updated the settings, and now it's dropped out again. Why is that? Back again. Hopefully this stays stable. Jacob, do I have a Discord server? No, I don't. Sorry, mate. I'm looking at probably setting one up because you're not the first person to ask that. So stay tuned. I might get on to doing that. Shobi over on TikTok, thank you for the roses. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you for the gumdrop buttons. You're a legend. Ninja, thank you. And Dagon, hello. My army is Ultramarines. Classic. Good old Ultramarine scheme. Love it. Okay. Gotta keep an eye on that camera so it doesn't drop out again. It's giving me the shit. I don't want to cough in your ears, so I'm muting myself when I do that. Not A and B, what color? For the green, we are currently using dark green from Vallejo Game Color. Warp Enigma. Nice, Deathwing Blade Guard. Yes, my friend, we're on to the Blade Guards now that our Stern Guard veterans are complete. How many of these guys do I have? I think I have 6 to paint up. 3, yeah, and 6. Tattoo Lady. What capital? Not sure what you're asking there, my friend. Let's get there. Not many people are going to see behind here in this tabard bit, but at least we know there's a bit of colour there now. Dagon subscribed. Thank you. Appreciate it, mate. So we got Tyranids, we got Jacob doing, and his dad doing Dark Angels, and also Orcs. Very nice. Warp Enigma is asking what's happening with the homebrew nameless spectral ghosts. They are sitting on my workbench at the moment, putting them to the side for a little bit because I want to get through this commission in a somewhat timely manner, so I'm going to keep pumping these out for a little bit, I think. Beth over on TikTok. Dude is looking sick. Hello. Hey Beth, welcome back. How are you, my friend? I appreciate the kind words. Too bad your Primarch isn't as good as mine. Sucks to suck. Bruh. Those are fighting words, mate. That's alright. I'm assuming your Primarch is some sort of traitorous one. It's okay. It's alright. Feels bad, man. Insanusen? Where are you from, buddy? I am from Sydney, Australia. Warp Enigma is asking how much I make on a commission. It varies. I don't charge per model, I charge per hour, and I just sort of quote on an estimate. And because I'm streaming this as well, it's going to take longer, so I'm not actually quoting on the time that it's taking. You know, that I'm doing this on stream because it's going to take way longer than I would be to just focus on it as normal. But yes, just a little hourly rate, something that makes it worth my time. Around 33 Australian buckaroos per hour is what I charge. Beth, you're doing good. You're onto your last rubric marine now. Whoa, you pumped through them pretty fast. Good on you. While that green is drying, I don't think there's a whole bunch of red on this model that we need to do. I think we're doing the Aquila as red. I'm just going to use this guy as reference. So we did like the Aquila red. I might do this shoulder marking red because it's going to be a fair bit of gold on the model. So let's do that while I'm thinking about it. Where is my paintbrush? So do I give a discount while streaming? Not like a discount. I'm just quoting based on what I would paint normally, because I do painting obviously off screen as well, and that's when I'm kind of judging my time off. I'm not on the clock at the moment. I'm just kind of doing my own painting, but it all sort of contributes, if you know what I mean. Just paint, bro. Bro, this is relaxing. We're not in a rush here. What are you talking about, mate? Speed running. This ain't speed running. Kyle is your favorite Dark Angels. No, not my favorite. I'm just working on a job at the moment, which happens to be Dark Angels. I've also got Black Legion that I'll be painting up next, so that'll be something I will probably share with you guys as well. So getting a bit heretical. And then I've also got some World Eaters coming along too, and they'll be painted up in the original color scheme, pre-heresy. That blue and white look. That's what we'll be going for. Beth, you're doing your last transfers. Very nice. Thank you, T. Thank you, Guy. Appreciate it. See you, Jacob. I'll see you when you come back. No worries. Get those chores done, mate. What's my army? Asked Dagon. I don't have a particular army. The ones that I want to finish and have a fully painted army eventually would be my very own World Eaters and Emperor's Children. I have a shit ton of Space Marine kits as well, but I just cannot for the life of me decide what chapter I want to paint them as. So, undecided on that. Yes, chaos all the way, Beth. Yeah, Black Legion are definitely dope. They are sick. Do I just paint or play? I just paint. I really don't play. I've played maybe 6 games in my entire life, but that may change when I play a couple of games with my friends, maybe later in the year. Kells, thanks for stopping by, saying hello. How are you? Sand Kings, thank you very much, mate. So, I forgot to mention, the red that we... cheers, bro, I appreciate it, Kels. The paint we're using is Corn Red for Citadel, for the red parts. I think it's quite a nice little paint. Good coverage compared to some others. Fuck, I feel like I need to cough so much on this stream. I had a glass of water before, and I'm so inept that when I swallowed, it went down like my air pipe, my wind tube. That's what's happening. So it's like lodged down there. Feels like I've got asthma again. A punctuation. Started painting my first mini last night and noticed that my minis look shitty. There's a lot of chunkiness to the texture of the paint. I'm using Vallejo Black Primer. What did I do wrong? I think your first mini, I mean, it's probably never going to turn out the way that you envision. Definitely didn't for me. So don't be too hard on yourself, particularly if it's your first mini. Just stick to it and you will improve. I think a few people have added in some constructive feedback, which is good. You're saying that the paint has a chunky texture to it. If you're talking about the primer, that may mean you didn't shake it up enough. Sometimes you get speckly textured look for if you don't shake the primer up enough. Or, I'm not sure where in the world you are, sometimes if you spray and it's quite hot and you're spraying from too far away, it can actually start to dry up before it hits your model, just slightly, which adds texture. So if it's too hot, I believe that can cause issues as well. Just American Grey Knight. This is a Blade Guard veteran. I believe that's what they're called. It took me 6 months. Yeah, see Beth over on TikTok saying it took her 6 months to get it. Patience and practice is what you need. Terry for the Lion.
And for the Emperor, my brother, fight in his name.
Tattoo Lady, what time did you complete this Ultramarine? This dude is a Dark Angel, but you know, if I were not streaming and I was trying to pump it out, I'd probably finish this guy in about 2 hours or so. Depending on how much detail, like this Ultramarine is what you're referring to as an Ultramarine. Doesn't take long at all because there's hardly any detail. It's mostly just armor, bit of highlighting, and some gold bits, whereas this is going to take a lot longer because there's lots of different parts to the model, which then obviously takes a lot longer to paint. Thank you, Ash. Warp Enigma, thank you, appreciate you dropping in, my friend. Take care, see you later. This is a Death Wing scheme that we're going for with the Blade Guard. Coming along pretty good. This is, if you haven't seen Blighted and anyone else on the stream, we were painting up the last couple of days these Stern Guard veterans, and this is the final result, which we should get very similar result to on the Blade Guard that we're doing. But we're in the early stages now. Just need to refine some of these bits here. I feel like I've missed some. Dagon says they like salamanders, and I think Beth said salamanders as well for loyalist chapters to paint up. I'm going to be honest, I've never actually painted a salamander, ever. So, on my to-do list. I think our green from before has dried up, which is good, and that means we can go in for our second coat. Iron War Jaws, doing some Dark Angels as well. Doing first company for all of yours. Best of luck, my friend. Enjoy. Okay, so for this second sort of coat here that we're going to do on the green, we're going up in color value. We're going to use Angel Green. And sorry for those of you on TikTok, but you can start to see the green screen coming through behind. I have no idea why it does that, but it's going to do that. Promised, it's not painted some weird translucent color. It's just an odd thing we've figured out that TikTok does on this stream. Long Doc, do you recommend a magnifying glass light mount on the desk to help with the final details? I don't personally use a magnifying glass. I find it actually makes me paint worse and it gives me a headache. Like, I just don't like looking through it. So I don't use them. But I know people that have lots of success with it. So personal preference, that's for sure. But definitely get yourself one of these like lights. They're on like the big sort of arm, extendo arm. There's heaps of different brands out there. I am currently using a daylight. It's called Daylight Lamp. And it's really good. But yeah, a good light is essential if you want to get better at painting, because they can even alter how the colors look. So you can really nerd out on lamps, that's for sure. Uriel, greetings from Germany, fellow Warhammer 40k enthusiasts. Good to have you here. Do I play Dragon Ball Legends? No, I don't, and that's one I never actually got into as a kid. I never really watched Dragon Ball Z. Noah, what is this? Noah, you have stumbled across Warhammer 40,000. We are painting up this little model, and they end up looking like this when we're done. They come in different shapes and sizes, different colors. Some are in the future, some are in the past. Fantasy setting. But you're in the right place, mate. If you like plastic and you like paint, this is where you need to be. Okay, so again, adding a little bit more of a highlight. Scorpy green is what we're doing this time around, but we're not going pure Scorpy green. We are adding in some angel green and just mixing it up so it's not too big a jump in value. Omsi Games random comment, wow, your voice sounds nice. Thank you. That's a very, very nice comment. I appreciate that. I hate the sound of my voice. I think a lot of people do too, though. Sam over on TikTok. No way, back-to-back streams. Oh yeah, you're in for a treat here, Sam. Back-to-back. Good to have you back in the stream. And what do you know? I'm probably going to stream tomorrow because I'm not at work. So what's that? 3 in a row? Trifecta, baby. A few more comments here. I'll get to those in a second. I'm just gonna finish off some of these bits of green while it is still wet, because we're working quite thin here, so it dries fast. Okay. Over on YouTube, currently in the process of painting a Fallen Warband. Just wondering what your favorite Wing of the Dark Angels is. Green, Raven Wing, Deathwing. If I had to pick, I'd have to say Deathwing. I think it's a cool scheme, definitely. Blighted. Yeah, slights are definitely important. As Chris said, you can fully nerd out with all the different Kelvin settings. Is this a Grey Knight or Dark Raven? Or trying cool coloured themes? This is a Dark Angels in Deathwing coloured armour. So the bone coloured. What do we got here? Tattooed Lady. I see you live from Italy. I love your work. Ah, thank you. Appreciate it. I love your country. I was over in Italy last year on holidays and it was awesome. El Pepito, some tips for my first painting. Thank you. Very broad, you can start anywhere, I guess, with a tip there. If you're painting your first ever model, just pick something that looks cool to you. Buy a couple of paints. The Citadel ones are fine. You don't have to go researching for all the other brands just to begin with. Just get, half a dozen paints and literally just start painting. You will learn so much just from doing that. And if you want to continue to then learn and improve over time, highly recommend you watch some YouTube videos or pick up some guides or subscribe to some people's Patreons as well. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole and become like a really good painter, that's what I would suggest you do. If you're painting for fun, YouTube would be like your best bet to just get a lot of good free tips and enough to get you a really good looking army for the tabletop. Practical tips: get a good paintbrush over time. You don't need one straight away. You don't need to spend a fortune because you need to work out, are you going to stay in the hobby long term? If so, well then you can invest the time and money. But to begin with, you can use even dollar store paintbrushes as a beginner because they're not going to be bad at the start. The problem is they just deteriorate really fast. Sam, it's your last day at your job of 7 years. So having some drinks. Oh, congratulations on a new chapter in your life. That's an awesome step. Are you having a bit of time off between maybe another job, or? That's what I'd be doing. Make the most of it. Mini holiday time, I think. Omzi. Oh, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. I'll see you again next time. Go get some sleep. Water down your paints, says MD. 100% water down your paints. But you need to get used to watering down because you might end up accidentally watering them down too much and then you go, like what the hell's going on here? And then you don't know what to do. I've been looking around, and if you're interested and don't want to try and figure out for yourself, I suppose, there's a page called, I think it's Brush and Banner, and they have a free tutorial on their website on how to water down and thin your paints. So it might be worth checking out. I mean, they sell tutorials as well, but I know their free tutorial is about thinning down paints. So we've done the green, we've done the red. What can we do now? I think we can start doing some gold. Sam, didn't think that far ahead, starting a new job on Monday. Very nice. Yes, that's all right. I feel like if you do have a break, you probably wouldn't want to start a new job. Just like being on break would be too good. Never go back. Jay, Deathwing Captain. I think so. It's a Deathwing someone. It's a commission, so it's not my army that we're working on here. I've just been asked to paint this fellow up in Deathwing color scheme. Art Baker, hello. How are you, mate? Actually, before I do the gold, I think we might want to do... Oh no, I can always come back to that later. Disregard. I'm talking shit. So for the gold, we are using, I don't think I showed it, but Necro Gold, scale 75. I don't know if we're going to paint the... We may want to, but for now I'll just leave it. Sean, Necro Gold is so good. You are 100% right, bro. Such a good paint. Just a very cool color of gold, you know? It's got that almost like a sickly feel to it. I don't know how else to describe it. That slight green tone to it is awesome. Keza, do you prefer those paints over the Games Workshop ones? Yeah, I don't know how to rate them. I think Games Workshop have some good paints in their range, but majority I think are trumped by other brands. I am a big fan of AK Interactive. I do like a lot of the Scale 75 brands. Pro Acryl is really good too. And I'm just sort of experimenting at the moment as well with some of the new paints from the Army Painter. Sam heading over to YouTube. Just realized that's also an option. It is. It is an option. I don't know if you can see it on my channel or it just pops up in the shorts feed. I have no idea because I don't really know. I set it up following some instructions, so hopefully it's popping up in both places. But I will see you over there, Sam. Hey Nadine, how are you? Good to see you back in here. The gold works so well with your Dark Angel scheme. I was just about to ask what you were using. Love the almost brassy tone to it. Yeah, it's got some just a cool different tone to it, which is like sick, you know. I made it to the YouTube stream. Super easy to find. That is so good, Sam. I'm glad. It's a shame it doesn't, like, it saves in vertical and stays on my channel permanently, but like it looks very weird. But imagine viewing it on like your phone right now. It's kind of like viewing it on TikTok. Oh, Nadine is cozy. Got the fire going tonight. I wish I had a fireplace to have that. I'm just stuck with a little bar heater here in my unit. Philip, how long have I been in the hobby for? I joined the hobby when I was a kid, about 8 or 9 years old, and back then I still loved the painting side, but that's when I probably played a few more of the games with my cousin. And then I stopped when I sort of hit high school. I didn't really know people that played And I just kind of drifted away from it for a long time. And then a couple of years ago, kind of in lockdown and stuff, my girlfriend encouraged me to pick up the paintbrush again. And I did, and here we are. I decided to start sharing it on Instagram and stuff, not really expecting anything, just for a bit of fun. And I started enjoying seeing people enjoy my work and improve over time, so here we are. Abel, thank you, appreciate it. This gold is also sick because you don't even have to really apply a second coat. You can get it pretty much done in one coat. Such a good time saver. Here's a little halo now, I think. David, it's going good, mate. How are you? Thanks for dropping in. I love seeing everyone get back into the hobby because of lockdown. It feels like 8 out of 10 creators have all picked it back up because of all the spare time during lockdown. Yeah, I think that's kind of it, hey. It was just a massive resurgence in it. And I mean, it's a silver lining, which was otherwise a kind of shit time, you know? But I mean, I always loved Warhammer. Just, yeah, kind of shame that I stopped it for so long. How long have you been in the hobby, Philip? Sam, do you recommend the little mini holder? Currently use blue tack on a spray can lid, but constantly toy with the idea of buying the proper holder. I love this little thing. This is so handy. I used to just hold them like this, and I would get cramps and shit. I mean, yeah, you could probably get away with other stuff, like when I'm painting in sub-assembly, I will often do this little setup and have this bit of cork with a toothpick jammed in there and just use that as the sub-assembly bit. So I mean, you could get away with a bit of cork if you want to, or your paint can lid. But if you want to invest, this thing's done me a solid. That's for sure. That's good to hear, David. Thanks for the kind comment. Back over on YouTube, any recommended recipe for white scars? Just multiple coats of thinned WS white? Is that white scar white? I would say don't start with white. Even though they're called white scars and you're wanting to paint white, don't even paint white. Start with grey and build up. So this guy here, who's a white mini, doesn't actually have pure white except for the edge highlights, but he reads as white because of the way that we've sort of done it. Same with these guys, like they're different types of white, and we dirtied them down with streaking grime and stuff like that. Like that is, it started off as white, but we made it like dirty white. So yeah, don't start with pure white, because you can't then highlight upon white, because you don't get any lighter than white, if you know what I mean. Detroit, good morning from Michigan. Good morning from Sydney, Australia. Or good evening, should I say, from my end here. Fustel, we should all create our own chapter. Well, you just saw that. This dude here is part of one of my own chapters that I'm doing. And Warp Enigma, I don't think they're still in the chat, but he's referring to them as the Spectral Ghosts, which I quite like that name. But yeah, these are the sorts of guys we're working on a side project. They're my own dudes. You were welcome, you know, no problem at all. And thank you, Tattoo Lady. Back over on YouTube, Philip, have I always leaned towards Space Marines or collected other armies? I saw earlier that you had some fantasy stuff. I think at the moment I have like way more Space Marines than anything else in my collection. I first started with Necrons. Necrons are the army that I got into Warhammer with. So definitely open to other armies, that's for sure. Because I paint for fun, I like to just buy different types of models as well, so I don't limit myself to just a particular thing. So I have like random orc models, or I've got like a Tau, I've got some Age of Sigmar stuff, like yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. David, no, I didn't. Can you drop me his name again? I was thinking about that when I was brushing my teeth. And then I don't know how to look back at the comments on YouTube. So just drop his name and I'll definitely give him a Google after this one. And the White Templar looks so damn clean. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it, bro. And Chris, nice. I love doing my own chapter. Nice. Your own chapter and color scheme. What color are you doing? That is the ultimate question. Redstone, finally got my Grey Knight Paladins. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good shit. Yeah, James paints Blood Bowl as well. Gives you a chance to paint some different things. Exactly right. That's why I quite like it. And that's why I like the kill team kits, because it's like 10 models of like a particular faction. So, you know, I get a feel for them if I want to like paint more of them or whatever. But I don't have to buy like a combat patrol to work out if I like them or not. And yeah, I won't end up like you, Philip, with 1,000 points of unpainted plastic. Look, don't worry, mate. I have thousands of points of unbuilt, unpainted plastic still as well. Like, the ultimate intention is to have a fully fledged army, but that has not come to fruition. Matthew Kane, that's it. I'm just going to Google him now and have him in the background so I can look at him later. Otherwise I'm going to lose that comment again. who's taking. Little Legends Studios coming up. I'm assuming that's probably him. I'll have to look at that later. Nice. Have I ever dipped my toe into any of the Lord of the Rings minis? Sam, I have not, unfortunately. And you guys will all probably hate me, but I've never actually watched Lord of the Rings. I watched like 3/4 of the first movie. And then I was hanging out with friends when we did it and never finished it. So, sue me. Sidlit, I named my Tyranids the Teen Girl Squad. They are named Brittany. Nice, interesting choice. Sounds about right. Just popped in from the algorithm before bed.
Praise the Emperor, my friend. Do your duty. Serve and die.
Hell yeah. Thanks for stopping by, mate. Sam. Yeah, someone. You've been painting the minis. It took 9 tries to watch the films. Yeah, I reckon it's going to take more than 9 tries for me. I don't know. Feels weird to say when like it's so adjacent and so close to like Warhammer. But it is what it is. You're shouting Diva down. Someone else is doing Xenomorph Tyranids. Very nice. And Lukey Pookie, I like the name, is painting Castellan Crow while watching this. Nice. That's the dude with the flaming sword, right? Grey Knight. I like it. I like it a lot. What's my favorite chapter of Space Marines? I get that question a lot. Espals? I don't have a favorite, is the short answer. And that is evident in the fact that I don't have a completed army, but I've got like 6 different boxes of just Space Marine sprues that I need to do. Because I can't decide what color I want to paint them. It is fire. Yeah. Nice. If you haven't already, try converting Black Templars Sword Brethren into Dark Angel Sternguard Vets. That's a good one. Well, this is a commission job that I'm working on, mate. I had other minis here, but this is, we actually painted Dark Angel Sternguard Vets here. Previously, this is the one. The others I put away, so I can't show you, but my client, built up these guys using the kit, which looks really cool. Sidlit, the husband won't let me come near his Black Templar. If you could understand. Yeah, can understand. I love good Black Templars too. Such a fun color and kind of lore to create, to paint. And yeah, I like their zealous lore. That's why I painted up this dude. And I contemplated buying Black Templars and doing them. Like I did. I bought that box set a while back. I think it was when I first started getting back into Warhammer. I had like the Black Templar box set or something. Phil, have you ever painted anything in a darker grey scheme? Hoping to paint my Space Marines chapter grey, but there really isn't any guides that I can find. I have thought of that. These guys actually were originally going to be grey. So like the custom dudes that I'm working on, the no-name guys, but they ended up being a lot lighter, and I just kind of went with it. I haven't painted grey. I tried painting this White Scar a while back, and I'm not that happy with it. It kind of turned out grey, which is why I'm not happy with it, because I think I didn't bring the tones up in certain areas, so he's a lot more grey than what I intended, but could be good for if you're going for like a grey scheme, particularly the lower half. Like the lower half is where it was quite grey, as you can see. Not as much on the top, but still kinda. But yeah, I don't actually, that's the closest thing I've gotten to grey. Yeah, I can see he's painting a lot of Forge World stuff. David. Very nice. And have I played Bolt Gun? No, I haven't, sorry. I've played a bit of Space Marine 2, which has been good fun, but not Bolt Gun. You like the grey White Scar? Thanks, David. Okay, that'll probably do us there for that bit of gold. I wonder if I should paint these bits gold. Maybe I will. Or should I leave them bone color? I don't know. Let me have a look at a reference photo for inspiration. I might leave them, but I'm going to pick out the skull. I think that looks like the way to go. Let's do that. Pick out the skull. Spoles, thank you, mate. I'll see you later. Thanks for dropping by. Jack reckons gold knee crowns. Yeah, I could be swayed in that direction. What I'm thinking I might do is I'll paint this up, just the skull, and I'll see what my client says, and if he wants them gold, then I can go back and just add the gold. It's going to be a lot harder if he says I want it to just stay bone and I've already painted it gold. Your sons are watching the stream as well, David, hoping to get them into the hobby. Following the footsteps. That's it. Make it generational, mate. Good stuff. It's a very fun hobby to get into. Demonic Paints. Hello, my friend. How are you? So let's move on to the leather now, I think. I think we have enough blank canvas to do that. And we're going to use a contrast paint if I can find it. It's going to be snakebite leather, hence the name. Is it a blade guard? It sure is demonic. And we're painting up in the Death Guard color scheme. Tom's watching this stream. G'day, Tom. How are you, mate? You should definitely listen to your dad and start painting Warhammer. Just the skull gold is pretty eye-catching. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's quite nice. So I'm going to water down the snakebite leather a little bit, but not too much, because it's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. We'll go in for a few coats of this, I think. We can go straight over this green because we are pretty much gonna make it turn opaque in most places when we go in over for a second or third coat. So we don't need to worry too much about tidying up at this stage. We just don't really want those big pooling areas. Kind of want it to still stay in the recesses if possible. And if you make a mistake, see how I got the kneecap there? It's still wet, so hopefully get in there nice and quick and wipe it away like nothing happened. Am I Australian? Asked Philip. Yes, I am. Most definitely am Aussie. Over on TikTok, I don't know the first half. I'm just going to say Mad. Mad is asking thoughts on paint markers for these miniatures. I have never tried them, so I can't really have an opinion on them. But my initial thought is you won't have as much control of like accuracy. I almost feel like they're somewhat gimmicky, and then you're limited into what that color is, whereas with paint I feel like you can mix the paint right on your palette. But I do see people doing some pretty good work with it, so I can't knock it. And yeah, particularly not having any experience like with them firsthand. Don't have a firm opinion on them. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Hell yeah, Sam. Justin is asking what paints am I using? At the moment we are using snakebite leather contrast paint from Citadel. And we've used a bunch more from different brands for the other components of the model so far. Redstone. My first paladin has dual armed storm bolters and dual swords. Armed to the teeth. Hell yeah. Ain't no one getting through him. Lim, what's up, my friend? How are you? Philip was just in the Northern Territory for work. Flew out of Melbourne. Blown away at the temperature between the two. Oh yeah, I've never been to the Northern Territory, but I know that Melbourne is freezing during winter. So that alone can just tell me that anywhere other than Melbourne and or Canberra and Tasmania would be shit in winter. So going outside of that, you'd be a lot warmer. Thanks, David. Take care. And good to hear you sticking around, Tom. What kind of brushes am I using and what brand? Ask KT. KT SMT. I am using Rosemary & Co. Sorry, not Rosemary & Co. Why did I say that? I've got a one over there. At the moment, we are using Raphael Kalinsky Sable. A size 1 and a size 0, and they are the only two brushes that I use to paint my models these days. Have I tried the War Paint Triads line? I've got a few. I actually picked up a lot of their speed paints, and I rate their speed paints. There's some good speed paints in the Army Painter line. I didn't pick up a full triad. I just picked out a couple of colors that I thought were cool and I needed from that line. Spoles is back. Welcome back, my friend. And Sam, good old Adelaide, pretty nippy. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm not jealous. I'd rather be here in Sydney, mate. More things to do. The chungiest of chungs. How long have you been painting? And how long as a content creator? Painting on and off my sort of whole life. I started when I was a kid, ducked out of it during high school and kind of came back in properly a couple of years ago. A content creator, I think I did my first TikTok video 2 years ago. So I'd probably say about that, 2 years doing this sort of stuff on and off. I went really hard for a time, and then I stopped for a few months. Can't remember what was happening, but I just did not have the motivation to paint at all or make content for a long time. But now, different circumstances, very happy where we are at the moment. And holy shit, rah-rah Roospertine sent a galaxy. I didn't see that, mate. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You are a bloody legend. That is deserving of some gumdrop buttons. And I think you are pretty invincible for that, mate. Thank you so much. Top tier. Any Space Wolves, they're my favorite. No Space Wolves, unfortunately. I am fiending, excuse the pun, to get my hands on the new guys, the new box set, and or any of the characters, so I can paint some Space Wolves. Yeah, I look forward to that for sure. Rah, I really appreciate that. You love the lives. Keep up the great work. You are a legend, mate. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. Really do appreciate that. Can I don't know, I can pin something. There we go. I don't know. I need to work out how to be better at moderating chats and doing all these features. But I think I've done something there. Thank you. And you're currently working on orcs. Hell yeah. Increase that WAR, my friend. So Justin, he bought a few triad sets, definitely game changers. Finished Morty, looking good. Fantastic to hear, my friend. Good stuff. Northern Territory has temperature and humidity, yeah, like in the inside of someone's mouth. Litchfield National Park was gorgeous. You wouldn't want to be there during the wet season. Yeah, nah, neither would I. I don't think I'd want to be there like in summer either, like scorching temperatures. I don't know when a good time. Maybe now. Don't know. It's probably the bearable time to be there. Shadow, hello my friend. You paint salamanders. Nice. I've never painted one, but one day I will. Excuse me. Alright, so there's a little bit in here that I haven't hit with the snakebite leather, so we're going to do that now because I've been yapping too much. Not enough painting. So let's do that. Restock a little bit on my paintbrush and try and sneak it past his arm and get in that little crack. Goonsy looks good, man. Just got into it. Hell yeah. Thank you, my dude. Good to hear you just got into it. I love it when people pick up the hobby for the first time. It's nice. Good hobby to get into. Justin's getting back to work, but is subbing to catch other lives. Hell yeah. Thanks, dude. Good luck back at work. Achieve Gaming. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that comment. We're getting there. Still got areas to improve. I really want to improve my non-metallic metal painting eventually. It's an area I kind of lack in. No worries, Philip. Take care. Thanks for sticking around for so long, dude. Rara Ruspatine. I think that's how I pronounce your name. Rara Ruspatine. For airbrushes, do you need specific paint for it, or can I water down normal mini paint? You definitely can water down normal mini paint. I would recommend getting, like, literally my dollar store had these little plastic tube things that came in like a pack of 3 and I've crudely written on them. So T, thinner, W, water, C, cleaner. All right, get yourself this, fill it with thinner, and then when you want to thin your paints, I thin them inside the airbrush. So I will add my thinner first, put in a couple of drops of paint and mix it within the pot. It saves time and works very well. But yes, I can thin anything. I can thin like one of these AK paints, Pro Acryl, even Citadel, like even though the pot's shit, like you can just get a shit brush, dig it in there and put the blob of paint in the airbrush. So yeah, don't need to buy specific paints. You can turn your existing ones into airbrush ready. Achieve Gaming's painting Death Corps at Krieg. Ooh, another cool faction that I want to try out one time. The shovel wielding guys. Goonsey is painting Vespid's Kill Team and Necron's Combo Patrol. It's a good mix. Very Xenos of you. A little bit sus there, mate. Keep going and you're gonna warrant yourself an Inquisition inquiry. Dane. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Dane, how long have you been playing Warhammer? Playing Warhammer, not really my forte, mate. I don't really play the game, but painting, quite some time. Seriously in adulthood for the last sort of 3 years or so. As a kid, I also painted quite a lot. But, you know, I was a kid, so I wasn't as experienced back then. But I just loved it. But yeah, properly, I'd say, and taking it seriously, probably about 3 years now. You just bought one, but not sure what to use. Rara Rusbatine, yeah, I hope that helped. You use Citadel paint and they have airbrush paint, but I don't want to spend more money. Yeah, definitely don't need to spend more money, my friend. Just turn your existing ones into the paints with thinner. Darg over on YouTube. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. And achieve, what kill team do you paint? The kill team we're painting up at the moment is our Phobos armor dudes. I think they're called Phobos Strike Team, Kill Team, or some shit like that. And these are the dudes there in their finished form. We've painted up these 3 on stream. We've still got quite a few to go. And I painted up one for a tutorial that I did the other day on my shorts and TikTok feed. Yeah, exactly right, Rara. Love the lore and love painting, but not so much the tabletop. Exactly the same boat as you. Don't say that word. Death Watcher watching. Jace is back with your pint of paint thinner. Nice. Okay. We could probably go in for our second coat now. I think this has dried enough for our leather. We can go in for take 2. Doug is asking, do I branch out and paint other things like customs of Marvel figurines, etc., or just Warhammer? Literally just been Warhammer, to be honest, Doug. I did pick up like a couple of 3D printed models, but I never finished them. I think that was a few years ago, and I think 3D printing has come a long way even since then. So potentially the quality could be a lot better. The quality of the ones that I picked up were not great, so it kind of turned me off the 3D printed stuff. And I know that Games Workshop, the quality of their plastics are really good. These days anyway, not back in the Citadel Finecast days. That shit was shit. Sure would be a shame if I got near that fresh paint, wouldn't it? It would be a sure damn shame. Highly recommend the new Star Wars Legion minis. The quality has increased a lot. Yeah, I think they have, like, that's just it. Like some of the more indie or like, not indie, I mean Star Wars is not indie, but like those other games and stuff, they've got the ability now to compete in terms of making minis to a really high standard. God, this snakebite leather is drying up something fierce. It's going drying really fast on my wet palette. I feel like I just need to keep grabbing more and more. Slap it on there. Achieve, you recently got into Warhammer last year, and you're collecting Death Corps of Krieg and Space Marine. Nice, dude. Loyalist through and through. Highly recommend. No, I already read that one. Rara, but you did another message here. Do you just stick to 40k or do you dabble in AOS fantasy as well? I definitely do fantasy and Age of Sigma. I don't have that many models here, do I? I think I have one sitting on my desk. That's Age of Sigma. Oh no, I've got a couple. This one here was painted quite a few years ago now, so when I kind of started getting back into the hobby and I really wanted to challenge myself, I painted this guy up. And my challenge to myself at the time was get better at the airbrush for the skin. So I used the airbrush on the skin to kind of do these undertones and then highlight up with that. And then the armor, like I hand painted the sort of gradients and was trying to work on my glazing and stuff like that. So yeah, I painted up this rotty stinky boy for that Age of Sigma. But I think you can play him in 40k as well. But I don't know because I don't actually play the game. And this one here, I just love the look of Death Rattle skeletons and like Soul Blight Gravelords. I think it's like sick. So I wanted to pick up a box of them, so I did. And was experimenting with the Dirty Down Rust effects. And this is the result that I landed on with him. Thank you guys on the smelly Nurgle dude for the kind comments. I have this guy here, which I haven't gone back to. I was just kind of experimenting a little bit here, because I have a bunch of, what are these guys called? Flesh Eater Quartz models that I actually won. Like I won them out of like a giveaway. So I have a shit ton of them. So I have a full like Flesh Eater Quartz army that I could build and paint if I want to. I just have not gotten around to it yet, just don't have the time. Yeah, Achieve. Molotov has just jumped in with the response that I would say to you. Literally just choose whatever one is the coolest to you. That's what I did when I started. And that's what I think you should do as well. Don't need to worry about metas and what plays better. Like, don't give a fuck about that. Just if you want to paint and enjoy painting, do the guys that you think look really cool. And you will enjoy it regardless. Thank you, Rara. I appreciate that. Tattoo Lady named this brown. Are you talking about the brown on the leather that we're painting? If so, this one here. snakebite leather is what we're using. Wretched Blue Fox, sorry I missed your comment before. You should try Skeleton Horde. Someone else newish. Yay. I'd have used Skeleton Horde actually on this model already. If you see here in the sort of shadow areas, I shot that to build up some shadow. So I shot the Skeleton Horde through the airbrush. And we will probably use the Skeleton Horde again just to get the base coats quickly done on his purity seals. So stay tuned on that. Yeah, get crafter. Yeah, that's right. For the most part, whatever looks cool, but not gene stealers. I like it. Good stuff, man. Like the pale yellow to purple contrast on the Noble Boy. Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. That kind of rotty, distressed flesh look. What pressure PSI do I spray at? I pretty much spray everything at the exact same PSI, and it's anywhere between 35 to 40 PSI. I like it coming out strong. Where are we at now? I think we can start picking out some of the silver bits. So his sword and his plasma pistol. Let's do that. Let's change the tunes. I can only stick to the royalty-free ones, so our selection is somewhat limited, unfortunately. But I just want something different. Let's go. There we go. Slightly different. Turning the airbrush into a melter. Hell yeah, I love spraying at the high pressure. I honestly don't like it when it's at like 20 PSI or 25 PSI. I think for me personally, it doesn't work for me. I need it to be spraying higher. Thanks, King Gladiator. Appreciate it. And welcome back, Jacob. Finish with the chores. Painted the Army of the Dead Middle Earth box. Was my first time using dry brush. Came out amazing. Yeah, dry brush can be like a really sick technique. You can get some really good results with it. I rate it 100%. Kells, have you ever tried without the mic? It muffles the voice a lot. Are you talking about like the way that I sound on the streams, coming through a bit muffly? I have noticed that. I can't actually use the mic on my phone because I'm not streaming from my phone. I'm actually using it as a camera, which is why you can see it, and I'm streaming through my computer, so it's not going to pick up the audio from my phone. I have a nicer mic here, but I need to get like a mic holder, so it like a proper sort of boom mic thing. At the moment, it would be resting over on my desk, and it would sound like I'm talking from the other side of the room. So I'm looking into that. I'll try and get something better because I know that this is kind of dog shit quality. Dark Angel's Inner Circle time. Soon, my friend, soon. Dark Angel's Inner Circle will be coming up. Later on, we're going to paint up these guys. at some point. If you're in OBS, you can split your audio and mute the audio to your VOD, which will get around the copyright issues. I need to look into how to do that, get Crater. Yeah, I haven't fully dived into that. I am using OBS, but I'm also using a plugin to make it vertical. And I feel like all these different plugins and stuff, because I'm streaming on TikTok at the same time using an additional plugin in OBS, I think my computer's just shitting itself and can't handle it because it's quite old, which is why I think sometimes the footage just randomly cuts out. So maybe I need to invest in some better hardware first. Use the trimmings to make a mount. I'm not that creative, unfortunately. I should paint the plasma gun orange, contrast well with the armor. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not too sure what color I want to go with the plasma coils. The gun itself will be silver because it ties in with the rest of the army. I may get some elements of it and paint it red, like the traditional sort of Dark Angels casings. Kind of like what I've done. Oh, I keep going to grab the minis. I'll show you, because I keep feeling like I need to refer to them, but they're hiding. Give me one sec. Here. So this is the squad and the kind of all one and the same commission that we're working on. So how they've got kind of the red casing. I think we've had the blue coils here, so I think we're probably going to stick with the blue. Keep it all in nicely conformed with what the client wants. When do we get a desk set up to her? Oh, mate. It's in a state at the moment you don't want to see it. I have shit everywhere. Once I clean it up, tidy my room like a good little boy, I will think about doing a little tour. But as of now, I think I'd be judged for the state that it's in. I'm very proud of my shelf though. I built the shelf myself with all my paints on it. That was fun. Thanks, James. What color am I doing the plasma? I think you might have seen it there. So I think we're going to go with blue, I think. Just because that's what we've done on the previous models. Maybe blue, yeah, potentially. I think that's where we go headed. And appreciate that get crate. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. There's probably a workaround. I'm just not savvy enough at the moment to know what that is. Every good artist has a messy setup. Yeah, they do, that's for sure. Maybe next time I'll give it another reason for you to tune back into the stream. Maybe tomorrow if I clean it up, I'm going to hop back on. I've got more time during the day, so I'm actually going to day stream tomorrow. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm probably going to hop on and do some painting, which means you guys that are watching now probably won't be, because I'm assuming you guys will be sleeping at that time for some of you, wherever in the world you are. Would you ever paint a Warhound Titan? I would. I like the sort of mini scaled ones as well, the ones that aren't as like the massive size. The biggest Titan model thing I painted is a Chaos Knight Rampager. And if you're keen to see how that turned out, Achieve, you can jump on my Instagram or my website. I have a gallery there where I've got some of the finished products of my models, if you're keen to have a look at some of those. Have I painted any infantry? Not for this Dark Angels commission. I don't actually have any infantry sent as part of that. I think he's just wanting his more elite guys painted up. And he's doing the rest himself. But yes, good luck painting your Rubric Marines. Kells, I'm sorry I missed that before. If you paint original Warhammer, I've got a heap in storage. I'll send you a box. I haven't. Maybe one day. Don't feel like you need to send me anything, because honestly at the moment I've probably got a backlog of these commission things that I need to paint for the next 2 months, I think, of painting. But that is very kind of you to offer that. Redstone, you're not a bad artist, it just means that you're tidy. Unlike us little gremlins. Okay, I think we can add that skeleton horde to these purity seals now. You don't have Instagram, can I show it on the stream? Unfortunately, it was done as a commission and he's sent back to his rightful home. So I don't have it anymore. A lot of my models that I painted up I don't have anymore, because most of them I painted for commission. So I will just drop a link in my chat for you if you want to have a look, because there's a gallery on my website if you're after some inspo. So I'll drop it in there. And I'll put it on the TikTok one as well. I can't. I don't know why. Oh well, that's alright. Caleb, how long did you paint figures before doing commissions? So I was saying earlier, I painted when I was a kid, just for fun, and stopped and got back into the hobby about 2.5, 3 years ago. I'd say about 3 years ago. That's when I got back into the hobby. And I probably painted for like very consistently for about 6 months before I started commission painting. I got my first commission. But I had always sort of had an affinity with the painting as well. Like it wasn't like I was starting from scratch. Like I don't want to sound like a cocky or anything. But like I already had a lot of the fundamentals down. So if you were starting, I think it'd probably take you a little bit longer than 6 months if you know, like, haven't built up that experience over time. But yeah. And even then, when I look at the photos that I took of that model compared to now, it's yeah, it kind of went, like you can just see the improvement just in from a couple of years ago and that first commission. Do I only have Deathwing? Asked Redstone. I don't. I've got heaps here. So I've got a few people in the chat here. So you might be time for a bit of a showcase. So I can show you that if you guys have never seen it before. The link should be working. Achieve. Maybe because it's Australian? I don't know. Not sure. It's just hobbyfiend.com.au is the website link if you wanted to try it in Google and see if it comes up. It's like where you picked off from Caleb. Yeah, it kind of is. I'll show you before we do the showcase of the other models, let me whip out the models from back in the day. That one. And that one. Fuck, he's all broken and shit. Here we go. So here we go. Let's start this showcase. There's a few comments here. I'll quickly read them out before we start the showcase. So favorite Primarch, Michael, that is a hard question. In terms of the model look and feel, I'm going to say Angron at the moment. I think it's the coolest looking model for a Primarch at the moment. What's the favorite or most hated piece that I've done for a customer or yourself? I'd say Salty, two favorites. I loved painting up the Night Rampager because I think my goal was to emulate the box art, and I think I got pretty damn close with it. So I was very happy with that. I also painted up a Dante model, which I'm very happy with. It was a really cool gold that I followed, and happy with the results of that. So those are the two. And I have photos of them both on my website and Instagram as well, if you ever want to check them out. Thoughts on the new Games Workshop logo? It is absolute garbage. Why the fuck would you do that? Gross. And Sam, I've convinced you. Finally back home from work, gonna do some painting before heading to bed. Atta man, hell yeah. I love that shit. The Emperor is proud of you. Alright, showcase time. So Caleb, this was probably the oldest model that I have in my collection. I painted this guy when I was about 12 or 13 for a friend. And yeah, I definitely have older painted models, but with me, this is the one. I don't know where the others are. They're probably back in my dirty box under the bed somewhere. This, when I first started getting back into Warhammer a couple of years ago, was the first model that I painted when I started getting back into the hobby, because I didn't have any of the new kits. So I still had the old squatty Marines. So that was the difference without just like jumping straight back into the hobby. I think because I was older, I had more motor skills, I suppose. So that was the attempt there. Then my first sort of dip into Primaris was this guy. He's missing an arm, but I picked up the Black Templar box set and I tried to go like the box set colors, and I didn't do a great job with the edge highlighting. It looks, for me personally, way too blue, almost like Tron, you know. So this is him. Then I started to try and refine my skills and branch out into a bit of volumetric highlighting. So this is pre me owning an airbrush, all of these models. This is me just all painting by the brush, and this one here, I think I was very happy and proud with this guy. I think he's the first model that I posted on my Instagram when I started Hobby Fiend. I think he's still up there, if I'm not mistaken. It's either this or like a World Eaters kit bash thing that I did. But yeah, so I think my favorite parts of this was his knee and leg right there, because I was trying to emulate that kind of volumetric highlight, and I think I kind of did a good job there. And his stubble and like shaved head effect. That's probably my favorite elements of this model. And it was also actually the first time I had ever used pigment powder on bases, and I think that was sick. So I was like, hell yeah. So that's kind of where we were. And then someone else was asking, I think a few of you are asking, do I just do Dark Angels? No. So these are my other minis here. Never Need Chew. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Good to see you in the chat. I live with Ghost. It's your day off. Me and my lady heading to our local Warhammer store, then painting all day. Let's go. Hell yeah. What a day to spend your day off. I could not think of anything better. That is sick. Yes, so this is sort of where we're at today. I painted this guy up probably about a year and a half ago. And I was practicing the OSL effect and very happy with how that turned out. I followed a tutorial and he actually dropped in the stream. I don't know if any of you know El Miniaturista. Yesterday he jumped into this stream randomly and said hello. So I was like fangirling pretty hard. It was great. And I showed him this model because I said, like, you know, I literally followed your tutorial on how to paint this OSL effect, and I think it was awesome. So good work. He is the OG. One of my Raptors, dude, that I've painted. I showed the white Black Templar before, but yeah, some Space Marine, Ultramarines that I painted up. So, you know, different type of blade guard, but from what we're painting today, different chapter, but yeah, happy with that. Flesh Tearers, like here, enjoy that. Corn Berserkers, love a bit of chaos. These bad boys here. Yep. Yep, do that. They look like they're from the original Space Marine game. Thanks. A lack of understanding. Do I use an airbrush? I do, my friend, I do. Thanks, Evanichu. Yes, I do. But I blend it with the brush as well, because you can't do everything with an airbrush. So yeah, this is my Emperor's Children. Yeah, that's probably it for the showcase at the moment. I've got other stuff, but we could be here all night just showing random models. But we are here to paint, and we don't have too much more time to do so because it's getting late. So I'll probably paint for another maybe 15 minutes or so. So let's see how far we can get in that time. Where's my little paint handle? Jordanism. Have I painted any Tau? I have painted one Tau model, and I, for the life of me, have no idea where it's gone. So I can't show you, unfortunately. I think he's off-world at the moment. Tattooed Lady, Emperor Children, so nice. Thank you. And thank you on the Neon Light as well. Yeah, it's good fun. Yes, Never Need You. We are on to Blade Guard Veterans now with the, is it Blade Guard Veterans or just Blade Guard? I'm just going to say Blade Guard Veterans. But we finished last night. I think you may be there when we finished. This was the result of our last stream. So happy with that, and the client is happy. I sent him photos of all the models earlier, and we got the thumbs up, which is good. Ever painted Custodes? I have. I've painted Custodes, not in the traditional colors scheme though, the gold color. I painted it up in, it was like a white color that the guy wanted. So yeah, only once before. What time is it for me? It is 11:11. Make a wish in the evening here in Sydney, Australia. All right, let's add another coat of Skeleton Horde on his purity seals. out his wax seal as well. We got time for that. Easy. I've left the shield for now because what I'm thinking is I'm going to get his opinion on what he wants there, but I would probably go with like a red shield on the inside. The trim will be gold, and so will this. I think that will look kind of nice. But let's see what his thoughts are. I noticed I probably did that off screen. Hang on. So put this side red on the inside, and the outer sort of trace line I think we're going to do in gold, and same with the middle bit as well. Rara Ruspetine, favorite brand for day-to-day painting. Honestly, I feel like my go-tos are Vallejo, AK, and Pro Acryl. They kind of do a lot of my painting. But I honestly think each range has some really good paints in them, that's for sure. Achieve, what days and time do you stream? Gonna sub because I'm good. Thanks mate, appreciate it. Honestly, I do it a bit ad hoc. I don't have a schedule at the moment because I work full time as well. So sometimes I'm cooked after work and I don't feel like streaming because I'm tired. But yeah, I think Fridays at least I'll be trying to paint and stream because I have them off. And when I can, it would likely be a nighttime during the week as well. Need to strike a fine balance, I think, between streaming and then still making content, because I think people still like the 60-second kind of short videos that I make on TikTok and on YouTube as well. Rara, thank you for the heart. You're a legend. Thank you for the gumdrop buttons. Tattoo Lady's asking if I am making the skulls of the shield white. I could, maybe. Maybe I do them like white skulls. Or maybe silver, so it's still like metallic, but they stand out a bit more on the background of gold. Who knows? Thank you, dude, for the roses as well. You're a legend. You're off to bed, Rara Ruspetine. Thank you so much for all the donos this evening. You've been an absolute joy to have in the chat. I'll see you next time, mate. Take care. They don't talk, they're figurines. Yes, Ruin, unfortunately they don't talk. I'd be very surprised if he did start speaking to me. Pavlaka, favorite legion? Don't have one, I'm sorry, mate. I like them all. Not all of them, but you know what I mean. Can't choose. Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Black Templars, Imperial Fists, or Heretical, my World Eaters and Emperor's Children. Honestly, can't choose. Eagle Eye, hi, it's me, Achieve, switching accounts. I'm going to use this account so I can sub. You're a legend. That is commitment to the goal. Thanks so much. I finished my Inner Circle Companions base coat finally. You are a much quicker painter than I am, Redstone. Well done to you. But yes, I'm keen to start painting those guys on stream as well. I think I'll try and do a bit of painting off stream, because I feel like we've had like the Deathwing bone color for the past few streams, so it'd be nice to paint a classic green color with like those kind of burgundy maroon looking cloaks. And I might pick out some elements of the gun casing type bit. Hey Ash Keefe, don't know why, but you've shown up on my shorts. Your painting looks so cool. But what are you painting? First time here. I am painting a Dark Angels Blade Guard veteran from the Warhammer 40k universe. So this is a work in progress. This is what it will look like in the same color scheme when they're all finished, like this. So still got a bit of a way to go, but yes, we won't finish it this stream, unfortunately, but that's to give you an idea of what we're kind of working towards when I'm painting. Never Nichu, red for the gun. Yeah, I think this casing here, so at least the front bit and in and around the coils here, like that. I think that's what I want to do, red. We can probably paint this. That looks like a grip. I don't even think that's coils. It's definitely not. So let's paint that in. Yeah, because I think a lot of the Dark Angels, they kind of have that red gun casing in the scheme that this guy wants. So let's try and keep that in as a consistent sort of feature. And once I finish this, I think I might have to call it there, my friends. It's getting a little late. I've worked a full day of work today as well. But we've been live for nearly 2 hours, so I think we've had a good run. Don't you? There's a few comments there. I will get to them before I finish, that's for sure, so don't fret. I've seen a few people comment on YouTube. So we've slapped that base coat down. Let's try and paint around the barrel. Lovely. I think that's good for now. Try and pick out that. There we go. Yeah, I think that's kind of more along the lines of what he will want. I might even, I'll look at a reference photo, but maybe even might do a bit of red around there too. But that's kind of where we're aiming to go. So I'll leave him here while I talk so people can have something to look at rather than just my face. So over on TikTok, I just saw one comment pick up, and I will then get on to the others. So we've got Redstone. Should I paint my Grandmaster Azrael or my Librarian? Gotta go with the Grandmaster, I reckon. I've painted him up before for this same client actually. And he was a fun model to paint, so do that 100%. Mediocre painter, what are your tips on using Agrellan Earth or really any crackling paint? I don't have a sealer and the paint kind of just fails to have the crackly effect? That is a good question. I think depending on, I haven't used it that much. I've used it a little bit just to play around and test with it too. I don't know what the quality of other brands are, but going off like AK Interactive versus Citadel products, on the whole, I think AK is a lot better than Citadel. So potentially it's just a slightly inferior product, because I know what you mean. The crackly effect I've had with Agrellan, it kind of falls away and doesn't really stick as well. Like it's not that great. I've had no issues with any of the AK Interactive basing materials, and they do their own crackling paints, which I haven't tried, but just going off other experiences with all their other different products compared to Games Workshop, you might have a bit more luck there, so potentially could give that a shot. Artemis, Spawn of Zeus. Have I ever licked Cheeto dust off of someone else's fingers? Probably, yeah. I don't see why not. Probably my girlfriend's at least. Yeah, Achieve, no. I'm assuming that's when I said I was heading off. Do you prefer to paint big or small models? Asks Anile. I'd say this size. I think this is a good size, like standard sort of mini that GW do these days. The big models are fun too. They make it easier to paint because you can paint in sub-assembly a lot easier, I find. But yeah, I wouldn't go smaller than this. I feel like someone was talking about Lord of the Rings products before, and I think they're just too small for me. But yeah. Sam, you're off until the next one. Yes, sir, indeed. How does one get into painting things like the Warhammer and other things? Asks Ash. Just start. Grab a couple paintbrushes, some paints, and a few models, and literally just start. That's how you get into it. And if you want to get into the side of like lore and stuff, which I find it interesting, just look up some YouTube videos on Warhammer lore and put that on in the background while you're painting. Like, it just makes the whole thing kind of a lot more fun, I reckon. So look into doing that. I think that's a good way to do it. Who's this? How's he going to pee? It just goes where he wants, mate. The suit takes care of that. We don't think about that. Cheers, you're looking to interactive. Yeah, definitely do it. Mediocre. It's a really good brand. I use a lot of their products. So it could be worth checking out for sure. And last but not least, Rob Costco. Looks great. What do you do for the base? Or what do you use for the base? Do you mean the base coats? Or are you talking about the actual base for the mini that he's standing on? If you're talking about the actual base, I didn't build this guy. This is a commission piece that was sent to me like this, but he's just used cork. The way that I go about my bases these days, something like this. So I will put a cork piece underneath, and then I'll sculpt the sides in so it doesn't look so jagged like a bit of cork. Yeah, that's sort of where I kind of go with the models these days. I like to kind of meld it in so it kind of looks like a bit more natural looking. So yeah, just a texture paste, cork, and then I use a bit of paint and then sprinkle on some pigment powder, and then you are good to go. Achieve, bro, you skipped me. I don't think I did. I just heard the one where you said no. That was the last one I saw for you. Because I think that was when I was talking. I mustn't have seen the comment when I said I was going. But I'm still here. We're still yapping. Rob, You are welcome. Anytime, my friend. All good. Go up the chat. What have you said? Back and subbed. And what time do I stream? You must have, yeah, I think you must have ducked out when I said that. I don't have a schedule at the moment, unfortunately. I kind of do it after work when I can, and I'm not too tired. Like tonight, I was feeling all right, so I jumped on. Fridays, I think, are the days that I'll probably stream more because I have the day off. So looking to stream a bit tomorrow, that's for sure. But yeah. Oh yeah, sorry mate, if there was another thing that you sent, I didn't see that. Apologies. Redstone over on TikTok has asked, where do I work? I work in tourism in the city, in Sydney. So I do sort of business support stuff. This is fun. I enjoy it. All good. All right, on that note, guys, I think I am going to call it there. It has been sick hanging out with you all. I hope you learned something and enjoyed the process with me. If you're around tomorrow, I will see you then. Otherwise, in the meantime, happy hobbying, my friends. Take care and peace.